sort so that it doesn't go far. But social media is social media. It's still there. It's still on TikTok. It's still on.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. It's still there. So I don't know. That censoring will not really work. But if the message it will go far, and I'm sure the president's son will get the message because some of the words he has been releasing on his store are so very insensitive. So I hope he gets the message and he goes back to review how and things he says to people when he goes on his store and his visit because people are no longer blind. We're not blind, we're not deaf. So it was well needed.
Yeah, it was well needed.
Well
It was
needed.
well needed.
Well needed.
Okay, so that brings us to the crux of our discourse today on the state of the nation and the role of the Nigerian youth. And we're going to be looking at it from the empowerment and participation of youth, leadership and innovation, social and economic impact. So let's start with the empowerment and participation. How can the youth be empowered to contribute to national development?
Okay. First, for me, I will say every youth that wants to get into that level where you say you are now a national developer, you must first empower yourself. And in empowering yourself, you must first of all have the basics. You must go to school, you must know how to read, you must also be a reader, not just at your normal book level. You must also be ready to expose your mind to international level news. You must know what politics in the Western world is saying and what politics in the national world is saying. So let's go to empower them to become national developer. Then you must also, as the person, try to understand the trends on where things are going. If things are going to trends in climate-wise, energy-wise, agriculture-wise, to first of all know the area you want to go into for empowerment to national level. So yes, you first, having known what you want, then you begin to vibe towards that aspect when it comes to government, leadership, and MDs. So yes, that's one of the ways. Know first of all what you want for empowerment, because I don't know, there are some persons that don't even know what they want, but when they just hear federal government is empowering, they just say, okay, what are they giving? They are giving laptop or they are going to give siblings. Phew, you just jump into it and then you take what you want, and you end up noticing that some of those empowerment, because they really are not prepared for it, are not enlightened towards that empowerment, they go to sell it and they go back to square one to look for begging and looking for how to survive, and then you start hearing the government no they really do anything. Meanwhile, the small empowerment they gave to you, maybe in form of seedling, in form of funding, one laptop and all that, because you didn't empower yourself by being fast, reading and all that, you sold it off, taking you back to square one. So yes, for me, that's just a very small way a youth can prepare himself for national empowerment. And government also ensuring that they have the right database of people they want to empower.
Okay.
So that they don't just give it to someone that's not really ready for it. And then, because you're my auntie, son, my uncle, son. So.
And most of the time, that is how the government runs, by way of saying, okay, who do you know? So who do you know? Who do you know? You know, by way of saying, okay, just bring 5 persons, without actually getting down to the real people that honestly and should be actually empowered. So government just plays around, all of that. So let's look at the level of participation now in the youth. What role do you think the youth should play in shaping policy and decision-making processes? Because I say the youth of today are leaders of tomorrow. But you find out that the leaders who are already there are not ready to give way. But they used to come on straight. So what role do you think the youth should play in shaping policy and decision-making processes?
So, when they say, I used to be a fan of, or I'm still a fan of, we should give youth opportunity to get into leadership. But I followed that trend for the last from Jonathan's time, former President Jonathan's time, and I realized that President Jonathan, as of that time, was a youth. But somehow, will I say he really didn't prepare for leadership? Because if we want to go through, I'll come down to my generation. If we want to go through his antecedents, he made a lot of very floppy decisions. I don't want to say maybe because he got into power by accident or he wasn't prepared. And it was those decisions he made because some person said he was a lecturer in those days, he was vast and all that. I wanted to believe that if he was a lecturer as those days, he should understand that there are ways to policy making and understood what policy making. That's why I always say to people, if you get privileged to get into leadership, the first thing you should do for yourself is to upgrade yourself educationally. Go and study things that will help you impact your people. So I wanted to believe that at a particular point, if he decided to open his mind and read, then he will look at certain policies from health sector to infrastructure and pick out one and diligently handle it. But some persons will say he did a lot of things in the northern Nigeria, but at the end of the day, he scattered the political setting very much more in Nigeria today. Probably because he was not a political science student, let me say so. But he had the opportunity to gather brain box of people that understood politics, the dynamics, that can look at the future and then prepare for it. So he created that loophole. Now, coming to my generation, they say give youths the opportunity to serve. Now, when President Jonathan did that, it gave the ground for the older generation to say, oh, see, we gave you people presidency, oh, you people scattered it. Let's bring someone that knows and is ready. And then we brought in President Buhari. And then President Buhari brought in President Tinubu. And we are here now. Now, are the youth ready to change this drama? Honestly speaking, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say 3. Because the ones that are serving, because I know the president has a lot of youth he put in position, now are not seeing the problem. Or if they are seeing the problem, they do not care because they are now in the position whereby they can see the money to train their children abroad, live the lifestyle they have been craving for. The whole idea of we need to fix this country has flown out. So even the older generation will sit on the table and be like, okay, see who they see the generation where they clamor for leadership. Not be this person will give MD here. What is he doing? No, and you know one thing they do, the older generation know how to keep track records, and because they know that really we are not really ready for that change, they just watch us shout among ourselves, and then when they are done, they sit down and continue to do what they want to do. Okay, for example, are we ready? What do we want to do? For example, I see a lot of persons, most youths that say want leadership, they don't even understand what it means to do, to make policies, keep policies, and stand in policies. Because as far as I'm concerned, it is policies that would drive the development of this nation. We agree as a nation to say, okay, youth, we are ready. Okay, look at that NSAS that happened. It was a beautiful opportunity for change in Nigeria. Because for me, it was like for the first time I saw youths come together in one voice. You see the ones that, when it was Friday, time for prayers, Christians gave time for Muslims to pray. When it was time for Christians to pray, and they were at that gate. But because the older generation already understands that we can easily infiltrate this generation with just money, bring them into the circle to see a little, they will disrupt NSAS. They paid. And before you know, that movement became a joke because some persons cash out in the fullest. We come down to this recent times. You see a lot of youth in presidency now, this 2025. Instead of sitting down to raise their voice, they are shouting presidency till 2027. 2027 is how many years? A lot of poor people can't feed. A lot of people are dying of hunger. Me, myself, I don't think I'm in the middle class. I'm in the lower class. You understand? Money no longer have value. But because they are already in that space where if they write out a memo, they send it, a PS sign, everybody sit down on the table and share. The projects that they put that memo for, they don't, these are youth. So you see somebody at the back now saying, oh, so this young guy just get opportunity, enter this place. A life don't change. He not think of us. That one too will start running the race to enter that place and not think of any other person. So for me, how will the older generation give space? When it's still the race of dog eat dog, everybody is clamoring for. But do we have real voices? By the grace of God, I know those voices are coming up. Those voices are coming up, and the voices will come up. So yes,
Okay.
we're still there.
And the voices, and eventually they come up. It will count.
No, they will count.
Okay.
We're getting to that point where those voices will begin to count.
Okay. So quickly, let's look at it from, because we're looking at Nigerian youth politics, their roles. We've looked at leadership and innovation. Now I want us to look at the social and economic impacts now. By way of economic opportunities, can youths pursue to drive growth and development?
For every nation,
Yes.
growth and development is the function of the generation from now. It's the youth that are solely responsible for driving innovation, new thinking, everything new. For health sector turnaround, it's the youth that will do that. Agricultural turnaround, it's the youth that will do that. Because as far as I'm concerned, the world is evolving every second. Those in the older generation might not really have the time to sit down to say, oh, let's think what is happening, what is not happening. It's the person that is growing that will say, oh, look at this innovation happening here. Voices raising up in UK, what's it called? This Burkina Faso president. President is a president. Ibrahim, what's his name? For Burkina Faso.
Yeah, President Ibrahim.
He's a youth.
Yeah, young guy.
He's driving change. He's driving innovation. That young man is 35 or so, never married, or he's not married. He sat down, looked at his nation. I think he's a military young person. And he said, are we going to continue like this? And he picked a few. And today his nation is not, they are not in debt. They are not borrowing. What's called, one of the Arab nations said, come, let's build mosques because they are extending. They said, no, instead of you to build mosques for us, convert it to education. Build schools for us. That is a youth. This is Nigeria, giant of Africa. Why can't we have that? Are we ready for military takeover? Somehow, I feel democracy is not working. Can the young military people say, come, let's jiggle this country? Because I was saying a few days ago, Nigeria is blessed.
Highly endowed.
From mineral resources, from diamond to gold to emerald to ruby. It's part of one of the reasons why we're having insurgents in the north, Zamfara and some part of Plateau, because of these mineral resources. So what did presidency do? He immediately went to bring in France that Burkina Faso drove to come to mind. Where is the money going to? Did they channel it to health sector? Did they channel it to infrastructure? Did they channel it anywhere? No. But we have youth. Some youths are benefiting from it and quiet. Why some of the poor are dying over it. So yes, as far as I'm concerned, for this country to change, to evolve, to develop, to have, should I say, to have sense, to live infancy, it is the duty of we, the youth. Sit down on the table. Some group of young persons can say, okay, we want to rejiggle the tech sector. They concentrate on that part. Another set will say we want to rejiggle policies and pursue it to the end. They concentrate on that part. Another will say, okay, let's do the agricultural sector. And they concentrate on that part. Politics and all that. That is the way I know this nation will change.
That is the way to go. All right, so let's also, okay, because we're looking to be looking at youth participation in politics from various components. You know, now I want us to look at the civic engagement now. The role of the youth in promoting social coalition and, of course, national unity. Look at what's happening around the Baramatu and the Shekiri perspective. I don't know if were you exposed to that issue?
A little bit. Okay. A little bit. Okay, so for me, I think my attention, I noticed it from my social media page, where I have just a few clamoring on the Shekiri, and then you have the Ijaws raising their own voice and all that, and you hear, see, until we get to that point, which country had that genocide that they just celebrated? Is it Liberia? Not Liberia.
No, not Liberia.
Not Liberia. But there's a country that just celebrates that genocide something. That if you go to that country, they will say you are from here. It will look as if you are trying to incite and they stop you. They believe that they are one. Until we agree that it is Nigeria, it is Delta, it is Warri, it is one people. The difference is different language. We will not have peace. What for me, I keep asking myself, what is the war? Is it war of supremacy? We are more better than you as an Ishekiri. We are more better than we have world class, because most of the time they keep saying one of the things they say is world class king. What you now hear we have world class king. Oil, no oil. You people are, you hear that you just say people are Ishekiris are betrayers. They did this during the Benin time. They are Yorubas. That is why you have Obasanjo come to say the Olu of Ori is his son. You know that that funny unnecessary thing. Meanwhile, you people are an ethnic group with massive resources. I know one of the kings in Ijaw community is young. I think his name is Royal Majesty Shedra. He's a young man that is well enlightened. He did not study in Nigeria. Your own king too did not study. So imagine you guys together.
right, sorry for that break. We had to redirect a search. All right, Anita, you were speaking to the component of,
The,
yes.
the Marabatos and the Shekiri.
Yeah.
So I was just like saying, I was saying that they have, what's it called? 2 world class kings or more world class kings, because I know the Ijos have a lot of kings and all that, coming together and accepting. Okay, yesterday someone now brought up who is going to go to, I think, Senate. All of a sudden they brought in Nikulamutu. Now imagine you bring your 2 kings together and you say, let's bring development to this particular community. That's, I think it's the Obijos and the Alaja. Most of the times I bring this in. It's okay, let's put a massive momentum here that everybody can agree and look up to. And we stop calling ourselves different. Development. That is the thing. Development. I don't understand this difference in identity. You will not carry your identity to the grave. When you get into the ground, you are sand. You are sand. So I think for me, for this issue between the Baramatus and the Shekiris, it's something they just have to see beyond what their forefathers told them. Because I can't imagine new generation living in the stories of my forefathers said. My forefathers did not say. So what did your forefather leave for you in the middle of this war? They still left nothing. They left a war of 500 years for you. And you are grown and you're dealing on that war. So I think they should use the fact that they have 2 exposed kings and build. I see what the Olu of Ori does. And for me, I see most of his development, he takes them, most of the time they do things in Abuja, or they do their thing in London, the host couple. Imagine if there's peace. Such agreement comes between their all enlightened kings, and they put this international investment in their center square between the Obijos and the Alajas. It's massive development. But I see there's this very wild mentality with the Shekiris. It can be beautiful that you're somehow knitted, but somehow should I say, it doesn't bring development, it doesn't bring greed. Shekiri. Come on.
We should come out of it.
They should come out of it, be exposed, and create that center to know that we are the same. Let there be development.
Okay, you're actually speaking so well to our conversation this morning, Nigerian youths and politics, state of the nation. Let's look at, I want us now to look at entrepreneurship, as part of the Nigerian youth participation, especially when it comes to politics. What support system do you think can foster a youth entrepreneurship moving forward?
Okay, support system. So, a lot of organizations, you have SMIDAN, you have Medicine Bank, somewhat Central Bank, Bank of Industry. They are all coming out to say, oh, let's support entrepreneurs in their ways, those in energy, those in, I think their climate and environment. I think that's where their major focus is now, agriculture and all that. You have the Delta State government come out to say they want to create a space where the Delta State, in conjunction with the Bank of Industry, will be giving out startup funds for entrepreneurs and all that to boost that. Beautiful. Amazing. But the fact is, how many of these things do they plan sustainability for them? Because for me, at the end of the day, I see that it's not just to give these people $1,000. What are the sustainable measures? Because these people are not people that are usually into business. So that's why most of the time I say, concentrate on people in businesses that are already in it. Trying to bring new ones, they might be confused. Does entrepreneurship build the nation? Yes, it does. It's a thing, especially the fashion world now. It's a thing that is bringing in money now to Nigeria, because we have a lot of world-class fashion designers, from Maatafu, I think Maatafu is the Delta, to the rest. They are bringing in money. Is it a thing that I encourage government to do? Yes. Channel it, redirect it the right way, beautiful. But for we in Delta State here, they bring it in, and at the end of the day, the people that really are in need of it don't get it actually. So I ask myself, is it really needed? Because the people, I've seen people come out for entrepreneurship and empowerment from government. They collect a full starter pack and go and sell it. Eat the money. Meanwhile, there's somebody by the streets that is really in need of it. But because she doesn't have a who know who and who know who, she doesn't get the opportunity. But yes, entrepreneurship and development for the nation works hand in hand. And a lot of organizations now are into it. And I pray that those youths that are in need of it will get access to it. Yes, it's the beautiful way to develop the nation.
All right, I'd like to thank you so much, Anita Oduka. But before I let you go, we'll just your advice to the Nigerian youths who say yes, education is a scam. We go politics. That's wrong.
Honestly speaking, education is not a scam. Because if I said education was a scam, I won't be here. I won't be vastly read. I won't know. Politics is a call for service. That is the place we are all making that mistake. As youth, politics is the bedrock for service. You are not going there to enrich yourself. It's a wrong mindset that the older group, older age has made. Now, some of the youths in leadership are also making that. But we have to really get to the stage to know that politics is a place to serve. And honestly, please forgive me, I realize that once a group of persons in leadership see that you are here to serve, they begin to sabotage your effort, especially if you are a youth that wants to serve. And it becomes difficult. And then you see that person say, since I did try, they work, let me just follow the trend and do. And that's where we begin to corrupt those that have really come in to serve. But the truth is, every youth should understand that politics is not a means for you to become rich. It is a means for you to serve that person that is on the ground looking for light and hope, not for you to become rich. So yes, politics is service, and service is leadership and responsibility. So that's what I have to say to you. Go to school. It's very important. Go to school. You can see what the Edo State governor did during his campaign. He's swearing in and everything. That word is not it. School is not scam. Go to school. Go to school.
All right, I'd like to thank you so much, Anita Oduka. You're such an interview's delight.
Thank you.
And you've got quite a lot to unleash, but for want of time. And we do invite you again, honestly, because you're actually giving the content of what I want. And it's more like a clarion call to women out there. if Anita could be so versatile and so bold, so outspoken, then the sky becomes your starting point. I think the government needs people like you to be in the system. And so it's a clarion call, actually. Put Anita into your system, and I think she would do the needful, moving the system forward. Thank you so much, Anita.
Thank you for having
Public
me.
commentator and analyst. A politician, I told you, is a woman of many parts, versatile. Politics, business, religion, psychology, sociology, and even as an entrepreneur too. She's got it all. We'll do this again some other time. And this is where we terminate the ride on a Tuesday morning like this. God bless you for being part of it all. And to those of you who's actually made the production a success, I'd like to thank you. My name is Onome Tano. God bless Delta State, God bless Nigeria. Come on. Yo.
Thank you.